Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of 7-Minute AE Tutorials. I'm going to show you how to make these really cool spinning tiles using shape layers, layer styles, the transform preset, and some strategic pre-comping. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a composition. So we just click New Composition. I'm going to make this 1920 by 1080, 20 seconds long, and then we're just going to call this Tile Animation. So this is going to be our main comp. Create a new solid, Control Y. Now I'm just going to do this darker looking kind of blue here. Go over to Effects and Presets and type in Vignette. And I'm just going to put in After Effects' default CC Vignette. Okay, so the first thing I want to create is a color control. So let's go up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. Rename this adjustment layer to Color Control. Add Effect, Expression Controls, a Color Control. Okay, I'm just going to make this maybe like a light blue. You can choose whatever color you'd like. Click OK. Click this Create a New Comp icon right here. And we're going to call this Letters. Now, I want to make this comp 500 by 10,000. Control T to bring up your text tool. And we're going to just type the alphabet. Now, I'm using a font called Gilroy Heavy. I'm going to make it all caps, and it's going to be 100 pixels in size. If you want your text to look just like mine, you can use either a similar font or you can use this actual font. I'll be putting it in the project files for you. First thing, make sure, go to your paragraph setting, make sure that you're centering your text. Click A, return, B, C, and go through the whole alphabet. Pull it up so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe pull out a little bit. Now we need to center this text. So with the layer selected, Control Alt Home, or on a Mac, Command Option Home, and you'll see it put our anchor point right there in the center of our text. Go to your line panel and just center this up both vertically and horizontally. So now if I pull back, we can see that this is in the center of our comp. Duplicate this layer, bring up your position, and let's just move this second copy underneath the original. And I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit to make sure that the spacing is about right. Grab that original text layer, Control or Command D to duplicate that. Bring up our position. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So we want to go above. So that way we have 3 instances of this alphabet. Okay, so here are our letters. I'm going to just fit this comp so you can see what we're working with. As you can see over here, I have this folder for pre-comp. So I'm just going to pull my letters pre-comp into my pre-comps folder. And then I'm going to add in another comp. We're going to create our tiles now. So let's create a new composition. We want to make this one 500 by 500, and let's just call this Tile 1. Right click in this area that's to the left of your timeline, New Shape Layer. We want to name this layer Tile. So open up that shape layer, go to the Add button and add in a rectangle and add in a fill. Now this is where we need to link our color to our color control. Go back out to our main tile animation comp and select the color control layer. And in your effects control panel, make sure you lock that down so that way we can click away, but it will stay up there. Then let's go to our tile 1 comp, open up fill, and just pick whip this red color up to our color control. So now whatever we change our color control color to, our tile will update automatically. So now just go ahead and unlock this color control so that way we can click away. Open up your rectangle path and let's make this size 350 by 350. We want to change our roundness to 25. Let's go up to Layer, Layer Styles, and let's add in a bevel and emboss. So let's open up this bevel and emboss, and we want to make sure that you have the direction set to up. And then let's just change the size to 35. Close up that layer, and at this point we can drag in our letters pre-comp. So just drag this in on top of this tile layer. Bring up your position and scale and just increase the size of your text here so that way it fits into this tile. Command or Control R to bring up your rulers. Let's pull down a guide and then just right click on that guide, change the position to 150. So now this comp is 500 by 500. We want to pull down another guide, right click, and we want to do the math. So 500 minus 150, we'll put this at the same distance from the edge of our comp as this first guide here. Use that and increase our letter even more. Make sure you rasterize your letters layer. So see, it's a little bit soft. If you hit rasterize, it will sharpen right up. Let's go up to Layer, Layer Styles. We're going to add some layer styles to our letters now. So we're going to add in a bevel and emboss, change our direction to down and change the size to 3. Go up to Layer, Layer Styles, and add in an inner shadow. Let's open up our inner shadow settings, and we want to change this distance to 3 and the size to 15. Actually, let's make that 10. So that way it looks like this letter is cut into this tile here. Okay, so now we need to make sure that we mat this letter so that we can't see these other letters. Take the tile, duplicate it. Let's open that tile layer up. Let's take off this layer styles right here and open up our rectangle path settings. We have this set to 350. Let's actually change this to 335. So that way it's a little bit smaller. We'll just call this matte. So we can alpha matte that. So that way this letter is only showing up within this tile. So now we just need to duplicate our matte layer, turn that back on. Let's change this name to border. If we open that up, add in a stroke, and then we're going to remove our fill so that way we can see through it. So we have this stroke here. Now I need to adjust this a little bit. Maybe we'll make this 300 so that way it's a little bit smaller, or just kind of play with this so that way it looks like it's fitting on the tile properly. Make our matte 315 as well. So now the trick to making this work is to use the transform preset for our animation. Go to about 1 second and 15 frames, and then select your letters layer, go to Effect, Distort, and add in a transform. Let's just put a keyframe for position from our effects control panel. Hit U to bring up our keyframe. Shift page down 3 times to go forward 30 frames. We add a second keyframe. Now shift page down once to go forward 10 frames. So from this point, we just want to page down 5 frames. Another keyframe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another keyframe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our final keyframe. Notice that the position of the keyframes are at 250 by 250. That's because this comp is 500 by 500, and we want our letter to be in the center of this comp. So this is where the tile is going to end. So basically what we're going to be doing is making the tile spin in and kind of bounce and come to a stop. We need to increase the distance from this final keyframe exponentially as we go back. So let's go back to the keyframe before. Move this keyframe 15 pixels away, so 265. Now the keyframe before that, we need to move even further away, but in the opposite direction. So we went 15 pixels from 250 the first time. Now we're going to go 25 pixels in the opposite direction. So that'll be 225. The keyframe before that, 290. And then the second keyframe here, let's make that 200. And then this first keyframe, type in 5,000. We want it to be about 5,000 away, but we want to make sure that we center it. So it won't be exactly 5,000. So just kind of pull it here. As you can see, mine says 5,085. So we're basically just making this letter come in and bounce. Highlight all these keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. And then we want to just select this second keyframe here, go to our graph editor. We want to pull this keyframe all the way to the right and not completely all the way to the left, but almost, because we want to grab our initial handle and pull that and just kind of play with this timing. I'm just going to loop this area by selecting B and N. So this is the look we're going for. But now see, one of the things I want to kind of fix where the letters are scrolling in, we need our border maybe to be a little bit thicker. So we'll make that 3 pixels so it covers that up a little bit better. Okay, so this is the basic look that we're going for. The reason why I wanted to add this using the transform preset is because if you select your letters layer and hit P for position, so you notice there are no keyframes on your position of your transform properties. So we can change this layer to whatever we want now. So like if I wanted the first letter to be J, move the position of the layer to that letter while retaining our animation. Open up your matte layer here, and maybe we'll make this a little bit smaller. We'll say 310. And actually, let's go to our border layer, and let's add in a layer style. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Add in a layer style, go to Bevel and Emboss. We'll select down, size, we'll make it 3. And actually, let's increase the size of our strokes, maybe 5. So that way it looks like it's kind of cut in as well. And since we're doing that, let's go ahead and go to Layer, Layer Styles, Inner Shadow. Open up our inner shadow settings, and we'll make this, we'll say 2, and maybe the size 8. Let's make it smaller, 3. Okay, so this is our first tile. So let's go over to our project panel and select tile 1 and then duplicate that so we have tile 2. Let's go into the tile 2 settings. We want this animation to go in the opposite direction as our first tile. Remember, our last keyframe is 250. The first keyframe before that was at 265, which is 15 pixels in a positive direction. So we're going to go 15 pixels in a negative direction. So 250 minus 15 is 235. The keyframe before that, we went negative 25 pixels from 250 and got 225, opposite direction, so we got 275. Keyframe before that was 290, so this time it will be 210 because it's 40 pixels away. And the second keyframe was 200, so we want to make this 300. And then we just want to make our first keyframe, just put a negative in front of this. So now this tile goes in the opposite direction, so it animates coming down. And if we go back to our first tile, we can see that that one goes up. And actually, just to make this a little bit easier as we go forward, let's rename tile 1 up, tile 2 down. Okay, let's go back out to our main comp, our tile animation, and just drag in tile 1 and tile 2. Bring up our position and just kind of separate these out a little bit. And now as you notice, this tile 2, this first letter is somewhere in between letters. So let's go back into there. Again, you want to make sure that your first keyframe here is going to be set onto an actual letter. So let's go back out to our tile animation. And so for this example, I'm going to just spell tiles. We want our third tile to go in the same direction as tile 1. Odd tiles will go one direction, or even tiles will go another. So let's just duplicate tile 1 and we'll name that tile 3 up. Go ahead and pull that in and we'll move that over. Let's just start setting these tiles as we're going along. So go to tile 1 and we want this to be T. So make sure we're past our animation, hit P for position, and just adjust your position until you get to a T. And see, the reason why we made 3 copies of our alphabet is because we're going pretty far away from the letter to start our animation, and we just need that extra room. Tile 1 is T, tile 2 is going to be I. So select the layer and make sure you hit P. You want to adjust the layer's position properties, not the effect. Your letters should pretty much center up. Tile 3, this is going to be L. So make sure we're past our animation, hit U. Actually, hold down Shift and hit P, so that way you can see these 2 positions next to each other. So here's our L. Go back to the beginning, make sure that letter is centered up. It is. We want to make a copy of tile 2 down, tile 4 down. Let's double click into tile 4 down, and we want this letter to be E. So hit U to bring up our keyframes, P for position. Go back to our first keyframe. Oh, and while I'm here, one of the things I definitely want to do, and I encourage you to do this as well, I'm going to toggle switch my modes. Command or Control A to select all of your layers and just enable your motion blur. For something like this, it looks so much better with motion blur enabled. And I'm going to do that to these other pre-comps. I'm going to select all of those, enable motion blur, tile 2, same thing. Tile 1, same thing. Okay, so we have motion blur set on all of these. We just need one more letter. It needs to be an S. And so we need to duplicate our tile 3 because it's going to be an odd tile. And make that tile 5 up. We'll go into tile 5, go past your animation, and we need this to be an S. We are last letter there. Go back to the beginning to make sure this first letter is centered up. And it looks like it's slightly off, so just make sure you adjust that so that way it's centered up for you there. Okay, so let's go back out to our main comp, the tile animation. Our animation begins at 115. Click away so that no layer is selected and hit your asterisk. Set a marker there. Double click, you can actually name it, start animation. And then go down to where we see the animation ends. And then another asterisk, double click, end animation. So that way we just know where the animation is. We have tile 1, 2, and 3 in our timeline here. You can duplicate tile 3 up twice. So that way you have 3 instances of tile 3. Now, if you select this layer 5 here, grab tile 4, hold down Option or Alt and just drag, and it will lay on top of it. Same thing for this last tile 3 up. Grab our tile 5 up, Alt or Option, drag on top of that. Now we just need to move these tiles over. Okay, so let's bring up position on all of these layers. We'll make this the X value of tile 1, we'll say 260. Now remember, our rectangles are 350 pixels and it's a square. So we can say 260 plus 350 if we want to get right on top of each other. We see how it butts up right next to it. And same thing here, 610 plus 350. And it's just going to put this right on top of each other. And then we'll go 1310 plus 350. So that way they're all perfectly spaced. And notice our tile 3 is at 960, which is in the center of our comp. That's exactly what we want. Add in a new null object, and we'll call this controller. And just grab tiles 1 through 5, parent that up to our controller. So that way now we can increase the size of this, or, we can move it around however we want to move it around. We see how it spins and it comes to a stop. We'll go back to the beginning of this timeline and just select tile 1, hit S for scale, and we're going to put a keyframe, shift page down twice, go forward 20 frames, put another keyframe, and then let's right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease in. Let's go back to that first keyframe and just bring that down to 0. Select this second keyframe, go to our graph editor, and we're going to do that animation we do quite a bit, or we just pull it to the left. Now let's select both of these keyframes, go back to the beginning of our timeline, and just highlight tiles 2 through 5, hit S to bring up our scale, and paste those. So now they all have the same exact animation. I'm just going to kind of offset these so that way they kind of animate in randomly. And this is the result that we get. So it's kind of a cool little animation. If you want to change what these tiles say, it's really, really easy. So say like if I wanted to say Jeff, I know I'm going to need to take out this final tile here. So I'm going to be working with tiles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take my controller and move it over. Then I just go into tile 1, select letters and open up my position and just move it down to the right letters. Because your animation is coming from the transform preset, not from the position of your layer. So we have J, make this an E, tile 3, just close all these up. Select letters, hit P for position, make this an F. And then our final one here, we want to make that an F also. Go back out to our main pre-comp, and as we can see, everything's already updated. And again, you want to make sure you check your letters before the animation to make sure that they're centered as well, and they look pretty good there. Since the animation is coming from the transform preset and not the layer's position transform properties, it's super easy to change which letter is on which tile. And now remember, we have that color control. So if you click on the color control layer, you can change the color of your tiles. Say maybe if you want it like to be like an orange. So that's one reason why I like to put in that color control, because I know later on I may want to use it. It's super helpful. It makes it really, really easy. So that's how you make spinning tiles using shape layers, the transform preset, and doing some pre-comping. I'd like to thank the good folks over at AE Juice for sponsoring this video. If you haven't checked them out at aejuice.com, I highly recommend you do just that right now. Get tons of free plugins from AE Juice that will save time while adding polish and professionalism to your projects. Get the AE Juice Starter Pack, which contains over 100 assets for your projects, including liquid and shape elements, liquid transitions, slides for your slideshows, text presets, flat icons, 2D and 3D assets, and so much more. AE Juice also offers professionally produced sound effects absolutely free. Other free plugins include a HUD package that is super cool. These elements would literally take hours to create, but with AE Juice, you get them absolutely free and they can be dropped into your project with the click of a button. Some of my personal favorite free plugins include Copy Ease, which allows you to copy the speed graph of your keyframes and paste them so you get identical keyframe speeds. I also use Shifter on a regular basis. Instead of going through the multiple steps of offsetting layers, this plugin allows you to do it with the click of a button, which saves a tremendous amount of time. In addition to these impressive free plugins, you can also purchase advanced products at more than reasonable prices. Take advantage of AE Juice's bundles. My personal recommendation is that you get the I Want It All bundle, which includes everything I just showed you. I've been approached by several sponsors and I will not promote their products unless I support them, use them, and highly recommend them. AE Juice is an amazing product and company, and in my opinion, it's a necessity for any serious motion graphic designer. aejuice.com. I hope this tutorial helped you out and that you learned something new and useful. Make sure to come back next time for another tutorial that will expand your knowledge of After Effects while also teaching you some really cool tips, tricks, and shortcuts. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Support our channel by getting your 7-minute AE merch today at our online store. And sign up for my Udemy course, The Power of Shape Layers. It's guaranteed to make you a shape layer rockstar. The link to that course, to our 7-minute AE store, and the project files for this episode are all in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.